We are back with another Throwback Thursday here again, and we've got another texture pack from the Minecraft Bedrock Marketplace to review. The texture pack that we're reviewing in today's video is the Film Noir Texture Pack by Giggle Block Studios. It costs 830 mine tokens and it is 2 megabytes in size. Let's take a look at today's texture pack and see what it's all about. I'm going to put today's final texture pack review score in the texture pack database over on Dasman blogs so you guys can see what the final score is, compare it to other texture packs and potentially do your own research. So let's dive in and see if today's texture pack is worth your minecoins. Unfortunately, the Giggle Block Studios' Film Noir Texture Pack does not have an updated splash screen. I think the buttons may have changed in the menus, but other than that, it's very slight changes to the menus here for that grayscale design. In the creative menus, though, you can see the blocks are grayed out for the most part. Unfortunately, Spring to Life and any new blocks will not have a Film Noir design, so color does pop through a lot more. This texture pack was released in December 2024 and has not been updated since, so a lot of new additions will break immersion, I'm afraid, but there was originally a tiny use of color in places. Now some blocks are going to have it in abundance. Alright then, so we are in a new creative world for this texture pack and immediately, wow. Okay, so you know how sometimes I'll start a texture pack review and I'll say it feels quite Minecrafty. This doesn't at all, and it's such a shame that this has not been kept up to date because while it's quite jarring and it's definitely not going to be for everybody, this noir aesthetic is so cool. Like, I hold my hands up straight away. The whole noir film style definitely intrigues me. I wouldn't say I'm super interested in it or anything, but it definitely intrigues me to the point of like Batman in noir, Spider-Man in noir. Always, like, I always have to stop and do a double take whenever I see it, and I want to check them out more. But this is just very different. I mean, look at the water to begin with. It's grayed out water. Don't drink this, right? It's quite amazing, and you get like little hints of color under the water, which is what this pack is going to do really well. Any hint of color is going to pop. Now, obviously, because it's not updated with certain blocks, like you can see behind me, you've got the cactus flower, you've got the sandy grass. It's going to be broken's probably the wrong word, but it's not going to be up to date. So their color's going to pop through a lot more than originally intended. Whereas coral blocks, this was intended to look like this. So you've got the hints of color under the water. It's not a complete black and white texture pack. The hints of color are going to feel so much stronger. And it's a shame looking at like the sugar cane that we've got off in the distance there, which looks like the unloaded sugarcane, because the sugarcane here has a hint of green in the middle, which definitely shouldn't be like that. That's probably an error there or a bug, but the loaded style is definitely Film Noir. So as we go over here, I just want to see if this, as we get closer, as we get closer, the gray takes over and the green disappears. I think that's a bug with the texture there. It doesn't happen with the sand, which is definitely a shame, but because of where we are, not the sand, sorry, the tall grass, this one here, the yellow tall grass, the tall dry grass. But because of where we are and how Film Noir-esque all of the blocks are, the dry grass really does, is accentuate the right word? I don't know, but it really pops nice. And while it is kind of immersion breaking, it's not necessarily negative at this point, which is quite cool. We've got some mesa biome over there. Oh, I never said, by the way, this is sand. So we're not starting on grass. And if we get closer to the water here as well, there is a subtle animation to it. It's definitely dark and murky, but not murky by design. It's just how it comes across. But then looking over here as well, like you've got the firefly bushes, which would be a new block, which wouldn't have been caught by the texture pack, so that then ruins a bit more of the immersion. I like the pink and I like the yellow. I'm willing to forgive those. This green doesn't really work as much. I do just, and it's the constant criticism for a Giggle Block Studios texture pack. More often than not, they're not kept up to date. It's a good concept, it's a good idea, but it's not kept up to date, and it just leaves you wondering what could have been. And it makes you wonder, why would you invest your money into this? I mean, you might like this. And I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. I've got to be very careful how I make sure I push my positives around a negative point these days. But I like what we're seeing here. The more and more Minecraft expands, the more and more this pack's going to break immersion. Now, this over here, I don't normally come to these areas, but I wanted to have a look. This is red terracotta. It's a very harsh texture. Now, I don't necessarily like the design of the block. I also don't necessarily like how red and brown they are. I feel like that's breaking it. Like, I like the hints of color that you had in the coral. I like the darker forms of terracotta. I feel like the red really pushes the elements from it. But I have to hold my hands up again. I'm not, like I say, Film Noir intrigues me, but I'm not an expert on it. Maybe there is use of color there. Maybe this isn't as simple as a dark mode style texture pack. It's not as simple as black and white. Maybe there are hints of color in there and such. So it's the way it's used that matters. I don't know. The texture itself, though, the design is what I'm not necessarily liking here. I don't like the blur. It feels kind of digital camo style. There's a lot of blur here as well on the red sand, which is quite upsetting. It's quite harsh to look at up close, but looking at the overall picture from afar, this looks really, really nice. Now, one thing that we can probably do as well, first of all, let's go over here. I see hints of grass. Let's get down here. What are we dealing with over here? Hello, how are we doing? So we've got some grass blocks. Now, this is more yellowy green grass. This would be intended, I believe. This is how it was supposed to look. So a bit more darker and drearier as it fades towards the riverbed into the sand. Interesting. Maybe a little bit more color than I was expecting to see there. Okay. And then, so what we should do as well, if I go into spawn on here, we'll see that the vanilla mobs that are normally affected by spring to life, yeah, they aren't updated. Like I said, the pack isn't updated, so they have not been fixed. And I would really implore Giggle Blocks, if you guys are ever going to look at your strategy, release less, update more, honestly. Because people are not going to... I saw this only had 8 reviews, and this has been out nearly 2 years. People aren't going to, people aren't really going to pay for a pack that they know is outdated, and they're not going to pay for a pack that they know once it begins to get outdated is not going to get updated. So you just need to be a bit more careful with that and just start looking at the long-term picture, in my opinion. Obviously, I have an opinion. I'm going to share it. We've got the sheep here. The eyes look a little bit scary. Okay, so we don't just have brown. Let's pop that off and just see what we got. So that was brown wool. So when you shave the sheep, it's pretty much a naked sheep other than the top of its legs and its head for you to see the color. If we get rid of the white one here, it looks practically fully naked there as well. That's actually a little bit scary. Look at that, with no wool on him. At least that's how it looks. That's a little bit creepy there. Okay, cool. And then if we go in, we're going to get some horses down. Let's see how horses look in a film noir aesthetic. Right, okay. There's elements of blur. There's elements of blotchy designs. I feel like they're not the smoothest. They're not the cleanest textures going. And it is just kind of that color drain, which is a shame. But I'm willing to forgive that because that's what you kind of expect in film noir. But you want the base textures underneath to look nice. You don't really want that blur. I mean, the best way to put it for me, I think, is there's not much that you're looking at. So make what I'm looking at good. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense in a sense like this. But it's quite a unique pack. I can only think of Dark Mode by Melon BP as being somewhat similar. And even that was a version that they didn't really want to release as far as I know. They wanted to do just GUI. So this is probably in a field all on its own. And yeah, it's just a shame it's not updated. Like I say, we've got them elements there where certain things are broken with the sugarcane being brown here, but then green in a distance. It's not updated. A little bit difficult. I would, if we were looking at this in 2024, I'd probably be saying this is quite positive though, to begin with. So let's carry on like that. Let's go and find out what a village looks like. Let's just take a second to have a look at how lush caves look in this texture pack. And then let's take another second to have a look at how the basic redstone components look in this texture pack as well. So before we take a look at the village, I've just been informed about this kind of new feature on YouTube called the hype feature. So if you're watching on a mobile device and in an eligible country, somewhere down below next to promote and like and all of that stuff, there should be a button called hype. Now it's currently free to do, but if you hype the video, it pushes small creators with less than 500,000 subscribers onto some sort of hype train, which pushes videos out to more people. So if you haven't hyped more than 3 videos in a week yet, please do consider hitting the hype button on this video, and let's see what happens if you get quite a lot of hype. I've never known about this, to be honest with you, but please do consider it, and thank you very much. Now, I've pushed us out nearly 10,000 blocks to get us to a more greenery area for the village. Now, I believe we've got some form of swamp-esque area out there, and we're in more of a standard plain style biome, so we can see what grass looks like. Now, grass here, very white, very pale. It's almost pale garden before pale garden became a thing. We've also got over here with dirt paths. So dirt paths are very much becoming the invert of the standard grass. And as we pop through, we can see crops. And it seems to be 50 shades of white at this point. I mean, we've got a little bit of gray and eggshell gray. We've got some bright white here. We've got that water, that dreary water design, along with the trees. Cobblestone feels a little bit softer, but not too different in general. And then if we carry on looking around, we've got an iron golem over here, which is always worth taking a look at. And here, what they've done is they seem to have taken off the vinage and just made him very pale and very defined, in fairness, as we've got a worker village behind me, or a worker villager even. And then if we grab this guy, how you doing, buddy? Oh, cool shades, mate. Very cool shades, like those. Let's see what happens if we get a few of these. Wow, okay, so the first thing I'm seeing, Film Noir, hitting that diversity button. That's amazing. Well done to Giggle Block Studios on that. My goodness. Even in Film Noir, night mode, grayscale, you have one wamp nose, my dude. Look at that. You smelt the food before it was cooked. What's going on with you, buddy? Other than that, though, we've got the unibrow, we've got the 5-headed forehead right there. Okay, I see it. Very difficult to show off the designs of a villager when you're really stripping back details here. But, I mean, nothing offensive again. Is the texture pack slightly overpriced? I mean, 830, it's probably about right if this was being updated. Obviously, it's not being updated. It should probably be made free by now, but... again, not really a fight that I ever seem to win in the marketplace, really. We get through here too. We see a bit more textures there. So one thing I'm seeing, while the gimmick of Film Noir grayscale stripped back colors is very, very nice, it does make things a lot more difficult to look at. I mean, look at the flowers behind us. The grass looking quite dark and dreary. The villagers were quite difficult to make out any details, and the golem was very stripped back. So it's almost a minimalist style texture pack in terms of little bits of detail. But I wouldn't go as far as labeling it that. It's just, it's an interesting concept, shall we say. Let's set it to nighttime then, and let's have a look at hostile mobs. Throwback Thursday is a series that is directed by each and every one of you, because every single texture pack that we review week after week has been suggested by one of you down in the comments. So if there's a texture pack that you'd like me to review, whether it be new or old, or one that I've done in the past but deserves a re-review, get down in the comments, put the name of the texture pack, the name of the creator, and make sure it's available in the Minecraft marketplace, and I'll add it to the list and we'll get to it as soon as possible. While you're at it, make sure you leave a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button as well. So before we set it to nighttime, then I just wanted to draw attention to the fact that there doesn't seem to be a sun in the sky, which is a little bit weird. And then also as well, looking off in the distance with that render distance and that kind of fogginess to cover the fact that there isn't much there, it's a light icy blue as well. But that's not what this section is for. I just wanted to show it off while I could. Let's set it to nighttime. Oh, we get like a little hint of purple. Maybe even a little hint of pink here. I hope that's coming through on the video. Is there a moon? Not that I can see. I like that kind of mountain-esque range over there as well. Okay, I mean, we're going to drink the night vision potion and let's see how it looks. Okay, so it just immediately goes back to daytime. I kind of preferred that pinky feel. Let's have a look at that again. That kind of pinky purple-esque shading. That's a really nice tinting to it. I like that. I will keep it to night vision just in case that helps people. I don't know if it will, but hopefully it does. Also, as well as we carry on, remember this is your arachnophobia warning. There will be spiders. They are going to be film noir style, so just bear that in mind. Let's get down here. In fact, let's start with one of those. Okay. Very stripped back. Not exactly an abundance of eyes. That's more of a streamlined face with the nose and the eyes around. Okay, yeah, I'm talking about you, bro. We've got a skeleton here, but he's got armor, so we'll see the rest in a minute. There's a creeper. Just kind of leaves you asking what's left, really. You know, it's just very dark shaded. I mean, it's what you would expect, though, right? Like, I suppose for me, it's just more confirmation that this style isn't the most exciting. It's not necessarily a reflection on the pack. It's just not the most exciting for how it's been done. And then we've got a skeleton over here. Limited transparency, but there is some. And again, like, it's just very plain Jane, isn't it? Sorry, Jane, but it is very plain. How you doing? Let's see. We've got a zombie over here. Seems to want to run away from me, so we'll just grab some more and we'll pop a few of these down. So no variation, which is obviously to be expected. It doesn't mention that there is any. Doesn't seem to have a mouth either. The face is somewhat cattish. I don't know if anybody else can see that. Very prominent forehead scars. These guys have been very angry for a very long time, it would seem. But okay, I mean, yeah, I'm getting that feel that it's a little bit disappointing as a concept. The pack's doing the best it can, to be honest with you. I'm not really holding much against it, but as a concept, it feels a little bit disappointing. Let's head out to the ocean then, and let's see what the ocean monument looks like. And again, while this isn't really a reflection on the pack, this is more a reflection on the concept. Flying around the world, even with night vision potion on, with this much color drained from it, can be a little bit draining on the eye and a little bit dreary and depressing, in all honesty. But like I say, that's not a reflection on the pack. We're over the ocean monument now. I've still got night vision potion on. There's still no sign of a sun or a moon, depending on the time. You can see as well that blue off in the distance. And oh, look. There's 2 ocean monuments. Weird. Okay, cool. Well, we're choosing this one. So let's get underwater. We're going to go into the dark and dreary. That's a little bit disappointing. Now, I don't know if it's even something that can be changed, but I was hoping this was going to be dark and dreary as well. We're seeing the colors coming back in the kind of laser strike of the Guardian. We've got the blue water as well. Could be a limitation of Minecraft, so I'm not going to be too harsh on it. It's just disappointing, really. We've got over here the prismarine bricks, going for that double Y and standard Y design on here. We've also then got prismarine, which feels very cobbly, and it seems to be changing from grey to white ever so slowly, like getting a little bit darker and then getting a little bit lighter. Maybe that's my eyes playing tricks on me, though, to be honest with you, but that's what I could see. Dark prismarine, again, very standard in its design. That's very similar to vanilla right there. We'll carry on up here. I like the sea lantern, though. The sea lantern looks clean. That looks very nice. I like the animation. I like how smooth that is. Let's pop this open. Excuse me, everybody. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Freedom. I'm going to let you out. How you doing? You're not going to harm anybody, are you, mate? Well, I mean, how much detail can you really put in? There's some nice markings on there. I will say, I was saying that blur was in the pack. Doesn't seem to be apparent here. They seem to have caught that very nicely on this texture, which is very good. This guy's having some real problems, mate. You've had a few to drink, ain't you, son? What's going on? You can't swim at all. What are you, legless? Oh, yeah, maybe. We've got the smaller guy here. I don't care. I'm making myself laugh. This one isn't inverted. It's a darker style. I like that. It actually looks quite sleek. I really like that. Again, not too much blur. The eye, very prominent as well. I like that for real. Now, is there a drowned around? There is. There's one down here. Oh, wow. Okay, he's got big eyes. He's actually got a mouth. Okay. Again, very difficult to make out the actual detailing on here. But I'd say there's enough of a change there to make it not just a cousin to the zombie. There is definitely some detail there that wasn't on the zombie. So that's cool. I've actually been pleasantly impressed with this. Other than the fact that the water is blue and the laser for the Guardian is like a pinky purple, I've been very impressed with this one section. I thought there were some very good color choices. I like the lack of blur. I think this is nice. Let's go underground and let's have a look at the trial chamber now. So usually I'm quite good at guessing what people think my opinion's going to be, but right now I'm not really sure. So I don't know if I'm about to make a weird comment or like something you're all expecting. I like this section. Like the copper, the tough. I really like the grayscale. It really captures that film noir film. Sorry, like I feel like we're back in like really old school movies. I really do like this. I actually am quite shocked. And it just adds to the disappointment of the pack not being updated. Like, if anybody's ever going to accuse me of having an agenda that doesn't involve realism, but if anyone's ever going to accuse me of having an agenda, this one is the one I want to be accused of. Get Giggle Block Studios to update their packs consistently, because I've always said this, always, more often than not, the concept is very, very good, but it's always outdated. That's usually my update, like my outlook with a Giggle Block Studios thing. And I think the same thing's happening here. Okay, sure, the pack could be quite difficult in the long term. Like even just seeing what a block is and knowing what each block is like this, but you could learn that. But would it be tough on the eyes? Maybe. But as a concept, the way it really works here as well, because there's no broken blocks. So this is essentially how the pack is supposed to look. I actually think this is really strong to concept. Maybe that surprises some people, maybe it doesn't. But I mean, we've got over here, you've got the tough bricks. We've got polished tough with enough of a change to actually show there's a difference. We've got chiseled tough bricks, really giving off that brick design. If we head over here, it gets a little bit more jumbly, but I mean, so does a normal trial chamber. We've got mossy cobblestone, which it kind of feels more diorite-y than normal, but we've kind of strip back every color to about 4, so it feels like that's how it would be. We've got chiseled tough here. We've got waxed block of copper. We've got the copper stairs here as well. I mean, don't let me down here, Breeze. Don't let me down. That is awesome. Are you joking? That is so nice. You look so cool, my dude. You would breeze everything, my friend. I couldn't think of a better joke. You look really, really nice. I like your eyes. It's almost like Venom-esque. Again, with the Spider-Man, but it's almost Venom-esque. I like that. Wow. I don't think I've felt this positive about a section in a really long time. And look at the candles as well. That hint of color just bleeding through. This is so good. I really like this section. I do. Let's head over to the Armoury now, and I'm going to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek as well to what the new Armoury is starting to look like. We're not quite there yet, but we will be very soon, I'm sure. So before we go and look at the proper Armoury section, or the current Armoury section, let me put a teaser for the new Armoury section on the screen. Now, it's not going to be a like-for-like switchover. I want you guys to know that. And I'm showing it to you with the Film Noir Texture Pack as well, so we don't break that immersion in the video as well. But this is how it looks. I've laid out the blocks in a slightly longer way and a different way. And I've also tried to pair families together for the wood variant types and focus on a lot more of the blocks. Now, when we do the Armoury section, I'm not going to be flying through it like I am in this teaser area. This is more just to show you how it's looking. We will still have that slower fly around to talk about the blocks and how they're looking, but I'm very pleased and very proud of what we've been able to build. Now, I've been building this on stream occasionally, every so often, which is why it's taking a little bit longer than normal. We've got, I think, 2 sections left to build. One of them is the main block family, where we're going to put all of the diorite together, all of the granite together, all of the andesite together, all of the stone, mossy cobblestone, all of the blocks together in the same kind of way that we did for the wood, to really show off the families of blocks and how they work. So I hope you guys are excited for that, at least as much as I am. But we're still here in the current armory for now. And the more I work in that new armory, the more I don't like this area anymore. I mean, the paintings have all popped off the wall, which is a disappointing like set of how it's worked. I've messed up my words there, but it's disappointing nonetheless. But anyways, let's focus back on the pack. So we've got the Film Noir world. We can see how it generates in with that gray all the way down to that black of the deep slate, which is cool. The cherry blossom. Now, okay, that's interesting. So what you normally get with leaves, when you have more than one together, the second one like this, the second one usually takes on a bit of color. I don't know why. I don't know why it takes away that transparency that you get inside. Now, it might even be when you've got 2 behind it, because that's only 1 and I can see. So yeah, there's a weird effect that comes through here, and that's where the cherry blossom's getting its color, and it adds in that little touch of pink around those pure white leaves, which is very nice. I like that. Very delicate touches of color here. We got the rest of the trees, which it doesn't actually seem as apparent on, which makes sense, to be honest with you, because leaves in Minecraft for the longest time were just different shades of green. So the cherry blossom trees was a massive change, adding in that pink. We've got the pale oak here, which you can see with the greener style of gray on that to make it feel a bit more dead. Really stands out with the color because it's not been updated. Same for the creaking here. We've got the dark oak. We've got the mangrove. It's so weird just seeing that color drained from every texture. It's mad, isn't it? Like, that's what I mean. It'd be quite difficult to look at as you're playing it for an extended period of time. But man, is the concept just not interesting? Like, it's so cool as a concept. Even like here, look, you see the pale oak door. We wouldn't see this in a normal texture, but the pale oak door in a vanilla pale oak door, there's actually hints of pink. There's hints of color on it, even though it's meant to be a really pale block. But next to pale blocks, next to drained blocks, you really see the color, which isn't the whole point of this texture pack. It just points out that it's not outdated. It's not updated, but it's quite interesting to just think of, really. And then when you get here, okay, so we've got a bit more noise on the beds, the carpets. Looks like the carpets, the beds, and maybe even the wall have the same colors. We can see resin's not updated, so that orange is popping a lot brighter than normal. We've got the precious blocks. The ores are quite difficult to make out. In all fairness, they still keep their color, so little hints of color while you're going caving there. Probably looks quite strong as you're going through. But then here, I mean, look, you've got the block of iron into a block of gold. I mean, I could have let you bet money that was on that block and you probably would have lost, which means this one here is diamond, which means this one here is lapis lazuli, which means this one here is redstone. Coal is obviously coal. Then you go into copper, okay, into emerald. I mean, this is, yeah, when I say that they are using like 4 colors, they really are using like 4 colors. And then you get the glass. And you know what? I like it. I like it the same way I like the coral. I like the use of color here. If we ignore the fact that there are blocks that are outdated, this would be, in some scenarios, the only, if my voice didn't break, the only use of color. The concept is there, man. Can somebody like Hero Pixels, Melon BP, somebody who's going to be able to do this, like Cyclone Studios, everybody, anybody who can do this, Spark Universe, give me Film Noir Craft, I don't know, give me something, someone who's going to keep it updated. Please come and touch this concept. It's so interesting to see what could be done with this. And then we've got the dreary colors here. I mean, it's a builder's nightmare. Let's be completely honest here. It is a builder's nightmare. Jungle slabs. Now, I never know. Have I just placed that wrong? No, it is. For some reason, the jungle slabs are vertical, whereas everything else is horizontal. All right. Hopefully, I don't need to check that again. I feel like I've checked that in a previous video, but yeah, builder's nightmare. I mean, unless you want to build like the grayest building ever, then you've got gradient for days, right? So maybe it's not a builder's nightmare. Builders, let me know down in the comments. What's this? Mossy stone brick slabs. Looking very stained. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, all right. So tell me which one's the bone block, which one's the honey block, and which one's the slime. This is okay, bone, honey, slime. Interesting. Fair dues. Into the bamboo scaffolding, or just scaffolding. And then we've got the wall. So some of the wall, no, the wall does keep its color. Okay. So again, imagine a village in a fixed texture pack. In an oak or a plains biome, the only color you'd get would be if there was colored glass in like the church building. And then on the woolly blocks of like the markety area. Oh, I like that as well. Look at that. He looks nice. I mean, he looks like he's going about to go out and rob someone, but he's got a teeny weeny beanie. Fair enough, but I like it, man. I do. I'm sorry. This might have to be a guilty pleasure right here. The slime as well. I think I like it as a proof of concept. I think if you tried to make me play in this world, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of noise here on the sand. And then with the andesite granite, bricks look nice. Quartz and end stone all looking quite nice here. The nether blocks for the wood from the nether, the warped fences and the crimson fences here as well. So weird seeing them with no color. The nether's going to look crazy, isn't it? Going from a fully red and then colorful blue. Everything's going to look like a basalt delta. I can't wait. That's going to be soon. Look at the workbenches here as well. Some of them look a little bit washed out. Some of them, I mean, they've added details in. I mean, for some reason, that chest looks like a villager face with his eyes closed. But okay. You've got the TNT here. Now, do I like the color on the ender chest? You know, that the particles. I think I do. I think I do. If I stop to think about it, yeah, I think I do. The shulker even gets that purple to it. I like that as well. Maybe not next to each other, but I like that as well. Because you get the enchantment table very plain. Very plain on that one. All right, fair dues. And then if we come up here and we have a look at the armor. So leather armor keeps its color. Look, you've got the yellow, you've got the red, you've got the brown. Very plain. Then we got the weapons. Now, immediately I'm thinking copy and paste on the swords at least. Just different shading. Let's see what happens when we go through. Chainmail, we've got those big and bulky chain links. The face looks to be missing on the front there, so it's more of a hood. No, you know what? I think it's different. This sword looks shorter and wider, and that one looks longer and thinner. We've got the iron armor here as well, again with that villager face in the middle. Okay, not sure I like that. I like this kind of black and white feel to it. The hilt might be ever so slightly changed. Let's go into gold. It's not copy and paste, you know. It's actually not. That is really impressive. That they haven't copy and pasted it. It's like they've all got very scary face. That looks like a sheep. A sheep face or something out of the Star Wars texture pack there. And then with the white handles, they look smooth. That's meant to be diamond right there. Into netherite, which is just pure black. Okay. And then pure black in there. It looks sleek. I'm not going to lie to you. It does look quite sleek. I'm going to put the armor trims on the screen here now. Unfortunately, they were quite disappointing. You couldn't really make out anything from them. So that was disappointing to see. But they're there. They're on a gold armor in that little picture there as well. And then we've got the elytra. Very plain. The trident looks quite sleek. Almost on the level of diamond, maybe? Maybe iron on the design. The shield, a little bit boring. The mace, I mean, it's updated. The heavy core, the bundles aren't updated and they get their color. And then if we go into here, we're going to put on the pumpkin. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst visibility I've seen. And it seems to keep the shape of the face on the pumpkin, that weird smiley face that we've got there. All right. Okay. Oh, that was a bit scary, wasn't it, with my face? Fair dues. Let's take that one off. And then if we check to see for the GUI, I mean, there is an updated GUI. I would have gone for no color myself, but maybe that's their way of making it pop. I'm not sure. So let me know what you guys are thinking so far. I always like to read your reviews. We're just over halfway through here. I'm pleasantly surprised, just disappointed that it's not updated. Let's head to the Nether. I feel like this is going to be quite a drastic change. If you'd like to support the channel and help me make content, then please do consider hitting the join button and becoming a channel member today. There are multiple different tiers available that give you access to custom emojis, a custom badge next to your name, as well as a priority suggestion for Channel Members Tuesday every single month. You can also get your name in the description, and if you're a Mega Dazzling or above, you can get your name at the end of every video I post. So if you have the means to, please do consider becoming a channel member today. Okay, so we're going to head into the Nether now. I'm actually really interested for this. Oh, and we're in a biome. Okay, that's great. That is great. We're in one of the colorful biomes. You wouldn't know it to believe it, or you wouldn't believe it to know it, or whatever the saying is. Let's have a look here first of all. So the lava, very bright, but very white. Okay. They haven't tried to reinvent anything there. They've just stripped the color. Cool. What biome are we in? Is this the crimson or the warped? It's the warped nylium. So this is the blue biome. The hint of purple here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we've got the hint of purple in here. Let's get down here and have a look. So we've got the Enderman bouncing around. We'll see him when we go to the end next. Okay, we got the piglins. There's little hints of pink or like peach, I guess, maybe. Okay. He's got an enchanted sword, and that enchanted sword pops out really nice with the purple. How you doing, buddy? You all right? You a zombie? You are a zombified piglin. Okay. Nice. Not much zombie elements to the zombified piglin. Not at least that you can see in the design. We'll come up here. How does fire look? Oh, wow. Okay, so you know, have you guys ever like done something that you fully expected that was never going to be what you wanted it to be? And then it is what you want it to be, and it's shocking. After what we saw in the water, with the water keeping that blue color, the fire burns gray. Yes, I love little bits like that. It helps with immersion so much. That's awesome. I'm like, the more I look at these textures, I feel like I'm getting like the softest tint of blue from it. I don't know if that's my mind making it up, but the gray and the purple here. Are you also warped? You are a warped wart. Okay, you're warped nylium. Yep. So we'll see if we can find a red one, but I know, I think these are still the blue biomes. Okay. Over here in this direction, I mean, look at Netherrack. Netherrack's lost all of its redness. Glowstone shining bright. This reminds me of like horror games as well, which is just amazing. I'm sorry. Those like washed out horror games that you can get, you know, like the story ones that you get. I can't think of any of their names, like Alone in the Dark or something like that. It's kind of mad. Let's keep looking around up here. Oh, what's that? Hang on. There's like a pink. Oh no, it's just the way the filter's working. Okay. Off in the distance. Now, is it the same if we go into the... Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, cool. I want to see a ghast. I know we've got the fortress here. Hello, guys. How we doing? There's a blaze down here. Hello. You'd never know it was hot other than the smoke coming off it. Okay. Very prominent eye and eyebrow there as well. Got the wither skeleton. I mean, you're right at home, ain't you, mate? Look at that. You fit in perfectly. All right. It is just a cousin to a skeleton, but fair dues. Before we get the wither out here, though, I want a ghast. I'm sorry. We need to see a ghast. Obviously, I showed you guys the happy ghast in the Armoury teaser. I don't think it was updated. Still blended in quite well. Let's see if we can get a ghast out here. Let's go ghast and ghast. All right, that's quite plain, isn't it? Quite plain, kind of on par with a skeleton in its design. What happens then if I stand, say, maybe over here? How you doing? Yeah, you fly that way. How you doing, buddy? What if we go here? Oh, man, I'm never going to be able to get off this in time. Survival. Hello, mate. Oh, he gets hints of blue. Ah, I jumped into it. No. Thank you very much. He got hints of blue in his face there. Cheers for that, buddy. How you doing, mate? Still goes red when you hit him. Okay, so let's have a little look at the fortress then. We've got the Nether Fortress bricks. They look quite strong. Very prominent. We've seen the blazes already. Okay, let's get the wither out here then. Definitely is quite jarring. You got like that tint of blue. It's a definite culture shot. I like the purple off in the background as well. I'm just a little bit shocked at how much I like the concept. Let's get the Wither. Got very prominent eyes. Look at that. I said the Breeze had Venom face. The Wither looks very Venom facey as well. Very solid jet black. Strong prominent face. Not doing much. I think they're doing just enough to stay on theme, but they're not doing much to really own it. But there we go. I mean, look, I'm obviously feeling quite happy about this pack in general, other than the fact it's not updated. I am going to tell you the highest score I can give this is definitely limited because of the fact it's not being updated. So it can only be so good, which means, you know, I'm not going to be so harsh on certain things, but yeah. Just don't be prepared. Be prepared. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10. It's definitely not going to be a 3 out of 10 either, though. So just be prepared for that. Let's head to the end. Let's see what Enderman, the End, and the Ender Dragon look like. All right, so into the end we go. And yeah, okay, devoid of color, no yellow. It's not really a surprise at this point. That's cool. I wonder how the void's going to look. Imagine if the void was like pure white. Here we go. Okay, no, it's not. No, it's not. The void is fine, though. Like, I was expecting it to be a little bit grainy or something to just really tick it down. But no, I'm actually quite happy with that. That looks nice. And then we've got the Endermen here. So the Endermen have some markings on them. Almost like they're wearing little waistcoats. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on with the markings. Other than that, though, it's quite plain. The End Stone just looks like it's lost all color. Like it's been out in the sun for too long. And then the Ender Dragon... very, very plain. That's a disappointment. I mean, again, I'm not really sure what they would be allowed or even able to do with the concept being what it is and really nullifying the amount of colors that they're using. It's just not a lot there. The wings almost feel like they've been cut down a little bit as well, but that could just be my eyes playing tricks on me there. So yeah, definitely not as strong. I feel like this peaked for me at the trial chamber. I felt the trial chamber was very, very strong, and everywhere else has been a little bit just on the line. But yeah, let's head over to the ancient city now and let's see what the Warden looks like, and let me give my final review. And so here we are at the ancient city. I nearly called it the Armoury then. Fair dues. We're in the ancient city now, and we're going to have to drink this night vision potion to show it off, which makes it quite difficult to really give a proper opinion. Let's just 1 second. So this is how it looks as standard, right? Very dark, very dreary, light in places because of the grey and the white, dark in places because of the black. It's strong though. You know what? This is kind of hitting the same way as the trial chamber, because everything we're looking at here is pretty much how it's supposed to look. I like that monotone, and then you get a bit of wool in here to add the hint of color. See, that kind of stopped me talking about monotone there, but I really do like the white on the black on the white mixed in with all the different texture designs. And you know what? The color doesn't necessarily take away from it either. I like that there's obviously a lot more gray and white wool around. We've got some blue, light blue, but okay. I think it's strong, man. Get this pack updated, please. Guys, I'm gonna get the Warden out here now. All right, so the Warden's spawning now. Here we go. Okay. As he was spawning, I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like what I was going to see there, but I feel like the design is missing something. I like the color combination, the black with the white eyes and mouth. I just feel like it's a little bit too basic in its design though. There's like a little face on his chest as well. Down there where the ribcage would have been. Little exclamation mark even. I don't know, there's just something about that hasn't hit correctly for me. I like the color combination though. And so I suppose then that means for today's Throwback Thursday episode, as something's just come on there, suspending this game app in 15 minutes because the license can't be verified. Well, thank you very much. Apparently, I may have lost my internet connection. Who knows? I bought Minecraft. Don't you dare. In terms of this texture pack for Throwback Thursday, what am I giving this texture pack as a score out of 10? Well, like I said, it's going to be limited. I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Now, the concept's not there for everybody, I grant you. It's very tough on the eyes. It's going to be very visually difficult to see what's going on. But I think as a proof of concept, it hits the concept very well. The 6 is limited at 6. I think that's the highest I can go because of how outdated it is and because the outdatedness really ruins from the immersion. But I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10. I'm going to get this in the texture pack database over on dasmanblogs.blogspot.com. So if you want to go and see all of my texture pack review scores, go over there. The link is down in the description. You can compare scores. You can go and check out the original videos. There's some howler videos there really is. But they're all in one place if you want to go and check that out. Please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Drop a comment. Let me know what your opinion is on this texture pack. Please do hit that hype button thing if you've got it eligible where you are. Apparently it's on mobile devices only at the moment. So please do go and hype the video if you feel like it is hype worthy. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for helping the channel get to 7,000 subscribers. Hopefully the road does not end there. We're going to carry on, try and get to 7,500 and beyond. I'm greedy, but I am also incredibly thankful for each and every one of you and all of the support you give me. I will forever feel touched and humbled. And you know what? If it ended today, I would feel like I achieved something. All thanks to you guys. So anybody who might potentially even know a little bit about me knows how much saying that is kind of crazy for me. So thank you so much for letting me say it. And thank you so much for helping me. Have a great one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.